Hi. I can't even tell you how many times I've tried to do this. I keep screwing it up. I knocked the camera off on the ground. The sun was too bright, so I had to go hang a shade up behind me. And then I just screwed up everything I was saying, and I just keep starting over. I wanted to finish up this rug that's been on the loom for way too long. So I come out here to sit to finish that up, and then I happen to think about somebody had asked me how I felt about using the little Singer portable machine for joining my strips, and they were having a lot of problems with broken thread, and they just found it too awkward to use. So they're like, oh my god, how can you even use it? It takes practice, and I'm sure I'm going to make it look a lot harder than it is, because I don't have anybody to hold the camera, so I'm having a really hard time lining things up with the lens the way I've got it propped up and everything. But if you use it like 5 or 6 times, all of a sudden it just becomes second nature, and you know exactly how to grab it, where to set it, where to grab it, and exactly how to not keep breaking the thread. And it just makes it go so much faster. I can join my strips in like 2 seconds flat, and as opposed to several making the keyhole joins. The keyhole join, you have to play around with the snipping the little corners and stuff. It just takes a little bit longer, that's all. I mean, I like the keyhole join just fine, but this I'm just finding easier. I don't use this for the warp strips, although I'm sure I could, but I just do them on the flatbed machine because I like to do the nice, neat diagonal seam and cut off the little triangles and all that, just because it makes a nice strip. So I do that for the warp, but for the weft or twining strips, all you need is like 3 stitches to hold it. It doesn't have to be a sturdy join. It's just got to be just enough to keep them from pulling apart when you're passing them through. So this is great for that. The first thing about being careful not to break your thread is once it's all threaded, make sure you pull plenty of waste thread to the back. Don't skimp on that, because you want enough to grab a hold of. If you don't have a good hold of it, it'll suck it up into the mechanism, and that's one of the stages where you'll tend to break the thread, and you don't want to keep breaking the thread, because then you have to keep rethreading the needle, and that is a waste of time. Okay, I gotta set this down while I grab one of my strips. And to do this strip, you just want to overlap it a little bit. 1/2 inch is enough. You can go 1 inch if you're more comfortable. Doesn't matter which direction you go in. I prefer to do the top down like that. And once you hold them together, just turn the edges over. So you're making like a little tube or ribbon, like a bias tape. And you've got this little section here, about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch or so, where everything's overlapped, and you're holding it tight with your thumb or the other thumb, because I need my right hand to do this. Make sure you've got the waist thread down, and you want to grab a hold of it so it's taut. Flip up the presser foot. I'm having a really hard time trying to aim this so that the camera can pick it up by myself here. But honestly, when you're doing it yourself, it's way easier than that. Put the strip back down, or the presser foot back down, and you've got the waist thread tight. Then you just need a few stitches, nothing fancy, just you can go straight across or at a diagonal, however you want, just as long as you're catching the 2 layers. And then when you go to take the needle out, use your hand wheel, and you want to end with the take up arm up and your needle up. So everything's cleared, and that'll release the tension on the thread too, so that you're not breaking the thread when you're pulling the fabric out of the needle. Open the tension, pull the fabric to the back, and see, you can just pull it right out easy. Snip it off, and pull everything out. And honestly, I'm making this look a whole lot harder than it really is, because I'm trying to aim for the camera lens. You won't have a camera lens, so it'll go a lot faster. Then I trim off my little tails that I tangled up here because I was holding it weird. And there's your join. I use gray thread usually because it's neutral and it'll blend in with any of these colors. A medium gray just kind of disappears. And once you try it yourself, it's really fast and really easy. That's it. Catch you later.